So Anthropic is releasing their new harness, and they're calling it Claude Managed Agents. And they state everything you need to build and deploy agents at scale. It pairs an agent harness tuned for performance with production infrastructure, so you can go from prototype to launch in days. Now in public beta on the Claude platform. So it seems as though the controversy surrounding OpenClaw was for Anthropic to come out with their own harness, and that way people can utilize Claude, the Claude API, and agentic functions and agentic harnesses on Anthropic's products. So it's kind of making sense here, and this sums it up pretty well. Shipping a production agent meant months of infrastructure work first. Managed agents handle that for you. Define your agent's tasks, tools, and guardrails, and we run it on our infrastructure. So, if you know what's going on with AI right now, AI agent harnesses, and you've been following what's going on with Anthropic, OpenClaw, and even Hermes, you would understand why this verbiage here is important. We run it on our infrastructure is basically telling anyone and everyone that's been paying attention that we're coming out with this new technology, this harness technology, and we want it to be run on our infrastructure. Not on OpenClaw, not on these third-party platforms as they claim. We want it on our infrastructure. And then they go and talk about what customers have built. But here is the image pipeline here. You got the tools and the resources, the MCP. You got the harness, you got the sandbox, you got the session, and you got orchestration, all going through their new harness here. And they talk about Notion, they talk about Asana, they talk about Rakuten, they talk about Sentry, all the things that have been built with this new capability here, this Claude Managed Agents. It just goes to show that, in my honest opinion, there's going to be a shift that takes place. And people are going to have an option. They're going to have the option to go the open source route, or they're going to have the option to stay with these frontier models and these frontier tech orgs. And it's going to be interesting to see. The only issue I really potentially see in open source taking off and beating these frontier models is people's capability to run these models locally. So we're talking about having the actual software to run or hardware to run these models. And that's going to be the real decider in all of this. But it's still interesting to see that Anthropic, is putting this out on Claude. And it's kind of a no-brainer. That's the way AI is moving anyway, with agents and agent harnesses. But a lot of people, from my experience, from what I've seen, still want to own the soul MD. They want to own the memory MD. They want to own the whole entire orchestration themselves. And they don't really want to get caught up or locked into a single provider that can ban you, restrict your usage, limit your usage, or even go down and not be operational. So I think this is really cool. I think this is interesting, and I feel like this was going to happen at some point. Look for OpenAI to come out with something like this sooner than later, because this is what's going to decide who's using what going forward when it comes to AI. As we know, agents are taking over and are becoming the norm when it comes to AI usage. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. If you got any video recommendations, let me know in the comments as well.